Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Micah 6. I hope everybody understood what morning prayer, the point I was trying to get at. I have this bad habit of over-explaining some of this stuff. So because I'm trying to get the point across in as great a detail as I can so nobody misunderstands, but sometimes you just can't help it. So today we're going to be reading Micah 6, God pleads with Israel. Now, all the prophets that we've done so far have had a chapter like this where God pleads with Israel. He's been pleading with them for ages. Until the age of grace started, then it got pretty quiet. And there was a purpose behind him being quiet. This is the age of grace. People have to make decisions. We've been given plenty of time. But now that time is about to wrap up. And God's going to come deal with all this. He's going to bring justice. Hear now what the Lord says. Arise, plead your case before the mountains, and let the hills hear your voice. Now in the Bible, when you look at the referencing between mountains and hills, it's referencing leadership. Hear, O you mountains, the Lord's complaint, and you strong foundations of the earth. For the Lord has a complaint against his people, and he will contend with Israel. O my people, what have I done to you? And how have I wearied you? Testify against me. He's like, you got a complaint? Come on. What have I done wrong? For I brought you up from the land of Egypt. I redeemed you from the house of bondage, and I sent before you Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what Balak king of Moab counseled, and what Balaam the son of Beor answered him, from Acacia Grove to Gilgal, that you may know the righteousness of the Lord. So that's a hint. That's a hint. Go in the Bible and find what he's talking about there. And read what it was, and then come back and read this. There's you a study point right there. Verse 6. With what shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the first of my body for the sin of my soul? He has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God? This applies all the way through the whole Bible. Verse 8, he has shown you, O man, what is good. Notice he quit talking to Israel and he's talking to everybody now. O man, what is good? And what does the Lord require of you but to do justly, to do the right thing, integrity, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. That's it. So simple. Verse 9, the Lord's voice cries to the city, wisdom shall see your name. Hear the rod who has appointed it. Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked? And the short measure that is an abomination? This goes back into the law. Shall I count pure those with the wicked scales, and with a bag of deceitful weights? For her rich men are full of violence, her inhabitants have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Therefore I will also make you sick by striking you, by making you desolate because of your sins. You shall eat, but not be satisfied. Hunger shall be in your midst. You may carry some away, but shall not save them. And what you do rescue, I will give over to the sword. You hear what he's talking about here? This is tribulation. All these people talking about defending others and helping others. What did I tell you about that stuff? You fill your house up with stuff, he's going to destroy it. The whole goal isn't to help the people in the tribulation escape the struggle. They're supposed to go through it. So whoever you think you're going to benefit, he's going to make sure it doesn't work. So it's a waste of money to save up for the day of the Lord. There's a woe that is attached to that, by the way. But he says right here, you're going to eat and not be satisfied. Hunger, there's supposed to be a famine. Hunger shall be in your midst. You may carry some away, but shall not save them. And what you do rescue, I will give over to the sword. You rescue people, you save, he's going to cause them to die. I mean, this is so clear. You shall sow, but not reap. You shall tread the olives, but not anoint yourselves with oil, and make sweet wine, but not drink wine. For the statutes of Omri are kept. All the works of Ahab's house are done, and you walk in their counsels, that I may make you a desolation, and your inhabitants a hissing. Therefore you shall bear the reproach of my people. This is powerful stuff. And from my perspective, I'm seeing a lot of people that are really, and I'm not referring to you guys at all in this. I'm seeing a lot of people out there that are doing videos and doing sermons and that they're not taking this stuff as seriously as it feels like they should be. This is serious. We have people today that are doing everything they can to try to make stockpiles and leave little notes and stuff all over the place for people to go, okay, at this property out here in Montana, on this side of the mountain, you're going to look for the 8th tree over, and it's going to have a big X carved into the bark, and it's sprayed over so it'll scar up so it won't go away, you can see it. And then when you go there, you're going to go 10 feet to the left, and you're going to dig down, and there's going to be a door, and you're going to go in there, and I got a bunker down there for you. It's all full of stuff, ready for you to survive. Just go in there, hang out, it's all taken care of. No. My houses are full of this. I got stuff in boxes in the closets and all that stuff. There's stuff in the attic. No. But we have to help them. That's not a time for help. The tribulation is a time for justice. It's a time for God to bring punishment on this earth. So, do you think he's going to allow us to help them? No, he's not. There's a purpose for that time frame. There's a purpose for the justice of God. And so, what we're trying to do now is not going to be a benefit to anybody. In fact, the consequences of doing that might be far-reaching. We may, if we're in the process of doing that kind of stuff, we may incur some justice on us for disobeying God and trying to circumvent his justice by doing it, but may actually cause more problems for them in the long run because, the governments are going to come take all that. They've already been doing it. They're doing it to the Amish. They did it to a bunch of families in Canada, other countries. The point he's trying to make is that this is a very unique time, and this is a time for my justice and my wrath is coming. You can't defend anybody against that. And it's a dangerous practice to attempt. It's a futile effort. You'll just set the house on fire. Burn it all up. It'll be useless. Everything is going to be falling down anyway because the earthquake is going to be so bad there won't be any buildings in that. You'll be lucky to even be able to have a house to live in. God is going to bring justice on this earth. He has to. And he pleads with Israel to see the light. He pleads with them. He pleads with us too. See the light. Turn to him. Like we said this morning, trust in his arm. Trust in him instead of in what we think we can do. Because I'm not powerful enough to circumvent God. So anything I think that I'm doing, nothing. It's not going to help. Because that tribulation, that's not what that time is for. God will have his day. And everyone that is in it will abide by what he is doing. There will be no variance. There will be no hiding. There will be no escape. And this warning is throughout the scriptures. Over and over again, he's pleading with Israel, guys, look. It's very simple. I want you to be just in everything that you do. I want you to love mercy and walk humbly. Simple. Verse 9, very powerful. The Lord's voice cries to the city, wisdom shall see your name. Hear the rod who has appointed it. Jesus rules with a rod of iron. Could that possibly be referring to that? Yeah. Tribulation. It's going to be a terrible time. I'm terrified for anybody that goes through it. But the justice of God must be done. Justice must come. And those who have not walked in faith, those who have not chosen Him and decide to walk according to what He says, are going to have to suffer for that decision. Israel included. They're not getting a free ride out of this either. It's going to be a terrible time, and nobody can escape it or change it. We're not even going to be here for it. That's not for us. That's for those who have denied God, denied His word, and it's for Israel, who has walked in their abominations for a long time. And so a balance has to be struck. A correction has to be made, and that's what He's going to do. There's nothing fun about it. There's nothing funny about it. There's no planning for this. There's no preparing for this. All you have to do is read the book of Revelation. The seals will give you the clue. And that's just the Kickstarter. It's the trumpets that are the bad part. As we read these prophets, we've got to understand this. These aren't just stories. These are foretellings of a future time. These are warnings of events fast approaching. We're living in that time frame. I cannot stress it enough that we're here now. This is it. And I don't necessarily want it to be, but it's not my word. It would be nice if there was more time. It would be nice if it would be an easier time. But that's not how things have to work. We're on God's clock. He's not on ours. Just the way it is. May not make us happy, but it's still the truth. We don't have to like it. It's still the truth. Guys, that was Micah 6. Tomorrow will be Micah 7. I think that's the last one. Yeah. Sorrow for Israel's sins. That one's going to have some eye-openers for us. Big eye-openers. I've already got stuff highlighted from a while back. So, that will close that book out. I don't know which book we're going to go into next. Maybe we'll find out tomorrow. All right, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.